All right, welcome to D20 Woodworking, and today we're going to be going through the next evolution cycle. We're going to spend some time talking about each of the hero packs. We got Psylocke, Angel, X-23, and Deadpool. And we've done reviews on the heroes in the past, but one of the things that you all asked for was to talk about the aspect cards that come with it. So we're just gonna be focusing on the aspect cards and kind of what I like and what I don't like, and how I would kind of use them or not use them in particular. So if you like content like this, do me a huge favor, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, all that fun stuff. It's fun stuff. It helps out the channel a ton. So let's start with talking about Psylocke, the first release pack. So we're going to skip over our cards and go straight into the extra cards that come with it. Psylocke overall is a hero I'm very kind of like meh about, but not bad. So we're going to start with the power of the mind. Now you can get more of this card, or there is more of this card available. But if you're running a psionic build, it's a pretty good card. So it states that it's a resource card, the power of the mind. Double the number of resources the card generates while paying for a psionic card. I use it for Psylocke, but I also use it a lot for Phoenix as well. Seems to be the two main kind of builds around it. It can be a very strong card. There are a decent amount of psionic cards, not just events, but allies now, things of that nature that can help you out with that. So I do enjoy that card. Captain Britain, Britain, is a 4-cost ally, 3 thwart, 3 attack. Each one does 2 consequential damage, and he's only got 3 life. Now, he takes -1 consequential damage after he thwarts a side scheme or attacks a minion. It's not bad per se. I don't know. Like I generally like the side scheme one isn't bad to use it for, but attacking a minion, I sometimes do it with, I sometimes don't. A lot of minions nowadays have so much extra health that this doesn't always seem worth it to me for the minion side of it. But for the actual side scheme, it's not bad. The problem is 4 cost is really expensive. The 3/3 stat line, like for thwarting and attacking, is pretty good though. So it's a little situational. You have to understand the scenario that you're playing against, and it can be worth it. But there are a lot of good justice cards out there. So I don't know. It depends on how many resources you're really running in your deck, resource generators, etc. Now, Cypher is a 2-cost ally, 1/1/2 stat line. After he attacks and damages a confused enemy, draw 1 card. If you're doing a confused deck or a confused lock deck or something, absolutely should probably put this in there. Beef him up a little bit with a 2 life or heal him or whatever it takes. But getting card draw is king. So you have to be kind of aggressive with Cypher. You have to get a confused lock deck. Can absolutely work well, but in that very like niche scenario. Situation. Concussive Blow we've seen a lot of before. 3-cost events. An attack, hero action, confuse an enemy if you pay for this card using a strength resource. It's not printed, so if you're using a wild resource to pay for it, you can say that's a strength resource, right? And deal 3 damage to that enemy. Again, putting this back into the confused deck with a Cypher is pretty strong. 3 to confuse isn't great, but if you're using a resource generator, or if you're lowering the cost of this and using a strength resource to deal that 3 damage, 3 for 3 is not good, but with the confuse, like, I'll take it. But we've seen a lot of that card. Now, Upside the Head was kind of the card everyone was excited for from the Psylocke deck. So it's a 1-cost event. After your hero makes a basic attack and damages an enemy, confuse that enemy, which is good, can help build your confused engine. But if the enemy is already confused, you get to stun it instead. So this is a card if I'm running a true confused lock deck or I need to confuse, yes, run this card, because now being able to confuse and basically, and well, if it's already confused and then stun the enemy is even stronger. You just have to be able to do a hero that does a lot of basic damage. Because like if you're running like a Phoenix where you're only doing like 1 damage at a time, it's not necessarily worth it. But someone like a Captain America or someone like that, where you can easily confuse lock or stun lock people, it makes a bit more sense in my opinion. So it is a good card, but you just have to like really plan around it. So Lay the Trap is the player side scheme card. They started doing a lot of them in this cycle, right? Player side schemes because of the cables whole thing. When defeated, the player defeated this scheme deals 5 damage to the villain, but it's 5 damage per player. So 4-player game, 40 damage, which is obviously a lot. It gets 3 threat on it per player. Now, what's interesting about this is I'll play this with like a Phoenix where she thwarts a base of 3 in solo. And it's nice to just have this in the corner. And if I need to deal the 5 damage, I could do that, right? I could do that really easily by exhausting and doing that. If you're playing a multiplayer game where if you have a Justice player who's really focusing on like thwarting a ton, they can do a lot of damage. I mean, a lot of enemies, especially in the second stage or third stage, have like, per player, like 15 to 20 health. So we're talking about being able to do like a quarter to a third of their damage from this card. Absolutely worth it. But you as a collective group, like I like to play early and maybe slowly work it down if you have some extra thwarting to do. And then this way, at the end when you need to make that final push, it can be absolutely insane. It just takes a lot of planning to do ahead of time. It also helps thin out your deck a little bit, which is really nice. Float like a butterfly. 2-cost upgrade, play under any player's control, but it's max 1 per player. When a character you control, so it's your allies as well, or your hero itself, attacks a confused enemy, again, if you have a confused locked deck, increase the amount of damage that attack deals by 1. If you get this early and it's a confused lock deck, this is going to be worth a lot down the line. Solo play, I tend not to use it that much because it takes a little bit to get the engine going, and this is like a whole like thing to kind of get this card going. It doesn't seem as worth it. Once you get into multiplayer games, I think it is. I think it makes a lot of sense because again, as you play the longer game, this damage will just like it will deal that +1 damage a lot of times over turn, especially if you as a Justice player are running a confused lock deck and your teammate is an aggression player and you put this under their control. So like, okay, I'm going to confuse them. You're going to do what you do best and just attack. And that's really, really strong. Now, what's really cool with this, it's not limited per phase or round or turn or whatever. It's not limited. So if your aggression teammate is attacking, readying up, attacking, has allies that are attacking, this can do several damage for each instance, right? So that's, I think, what makes this really, really strong. Again, in solo, I don't use it a ton. Like, it's not that it's not useful in solo, but in multiplayer, especially if you're having the 2-player setup like that, or 3 or 4, doesn't really matter. But multiplayer, helping out that aggression player is really strong. Pete Wisdom is a basic ally, 4 cost, 3/2/3 stat line, but 2 consequential damage on the 3 thwart. You can only do if you're an X-Force trait. And after you resolve the 1 reveal effects of a treachery card, you heal 1 damage from Pete. That's fine. I don't use it because he's so expensive. And again, you want the 1 reveal to be affecting you. So it's kind of like tough in a multiplayer too, because it's not like when your teammate gets the 1 reveal, it's when you, the owner of Pete, reveal it. So it's not bad. I mean, it's a good stat line with 3/2/3, but you kind of want to be like getting those 1 revealed effect cards. And for me, it's a little too much that's going on. Like, it's a little too tricky to get it working that I tend not to use them that much. We have Directive Force, a 0-cost event. When your hero makes an attack that has a keyword like overkill, piercing, and range, that attack deals 2 additional damage on this event. So it's an 0 for 2 event, max 1 per event. Yeah, like 0 for 2 isn't bad by any means. But if like your hero is like X-23 or Wolverine, where like their attacks can do piercing really easily, or much easier, I should say, then yeah, it can be worth it. But I don't know if they necessarily need it. Like, if you need to fill out your deck with like a basic card that will work, I think it's fine. But it's not like this end all be all card I think everyone kind of thought was gonna be crazy good. Not that it's bad, but it's a little like it's like a filler card for me, for more or less. Soaring Hearts is a team up card between Psylocke and Angel. Search your discard pile for an identity specific event and add it to your hand. Ready Angel and Psylocke. If you're playing 2-player, yes, I will do this every single time. Solo, I won't. But as a 2-player game, I will use it every single time. Also, fun note, one of my house rules is if I'm playing like Psylocke and you're playing Angel, we'll take out our signature allies, because you can't use them anyway, and put in team up cards. It's a house rule. It's not legal. It's just the way I like to play. So for me, that makes a lot of sense. Being able to ready up my heroes, pretty strong, pretty good. So I like that. I like that card a lot. IPAC is a one cost support basic card, vehicle X Force. You can only do if you're in an X Force trait. Hero action, exhaust IPAC and deal one face down encounter card to a player. That player draws 2 cards. If I'm playing with a Star Lord, maybe it's super situational, but dealing more face down encounter cards, generally speaking, is a really bad thing. Drawing 2 cards, unless I'm trying to make a final push, I ain't doing this. Like, it just doesn't make sense for me. X Bunker is a 2 cost support. Exhaust X Bunker and choose a player who has the mutant trait. So, generally speaking, they're always on their alter ego side. That player searches the top X cards of their deck, where X is the number of side schemes in the victory display, and adds that card to their hand. Super situational. Super situational. You can make it work in like a 4-player game, especially. Not a card I run a lot. It's not great in my opinion, but it's not, I guess, the worst thing in the world. Telepathy is a 1 cost upgrade. You can only do it with your psionic trait. So hero action, thwart, exhaust telepathy, spend 2 mental resources to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Nah, I don't do it. The cost to me just isn't worth it because you're basically spending 2 to remove 2 threat from a scheme. It is a thwart action. So if you're confused, you can't do it, right? So the 1 cost in the beginning, 2 for 2 isn't a great trade-off, generally speaking. I'm sure some people can get it to work, but it's not a card that I use a lot or really like. Sidebow attack is a 2 cost event. Attack psionic. It's an aggression card. You can only do it if you're psionic. I like this card. Deal 4 damage to enemy for 2 for 4. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But the attack does gain range. If you do it with directed force, you can add 2, I guess. But the bigger thing is because you're not going to get retaliated against like a Zola or something like that. So that can be worth it. But sometimes with Psionic, especially when I'm using the double, what is it, the Power of the Mind card, it gets a bit more worth it to me. But it's good. It's good. It's a card I will run for sure. It's not an overpower card, but I think it's a good enough card. Domino as a leadership ally is a 3 cost 1, 2, 3 stat line. After you use one of our basic powers, swap the top card in your hand with the top card of your deck. It's not forced, so you don't have to do it. But sometimes you have like a just a weird hand, and it's nice to swap. Like that can be fine, but it's not. It's hard if you're not Domino to like manipulate your deck. Some people can do it, but it's a little bit harder. So it's really just a card where I'm kind of stuck with this weird hand and I want to swap it out. Again, not a card I would build around. Not the worst card, but it's not great. Psy Flail Strike is a protection card, 2 cost event. Only do a psionic. After you defend against enemy attack, deal 3 damage to the enemy and stun it. The 3 damage is fine if you're doing a protection build with a psionic character, which I don't generally, so it's but being able to stun it is pretty good, especially if you're working on stunning the villain or stun deck. Not bad. It's not a great card. The last one in this is Telekinesis, which is just like telepathy, except it does damage. 1 cost upgrade, you can only do your silent trait. Exhaust Telekinesis, spend 2 mental to deal 3 damage. 2 mental for 3 damage just isn't worth it. Again, we all thought early on this and telepathy would be big cards we would use. It's really not. I generally don't use the cards in general. Just 2 for 2 threat removal and 2 for 3 damage. Just not really worth it. So those are the cards I look at with a Psylocke deck. Do I think it's worth it? If you run Psionic Heroes, yes, it can be for sure. But past that, you have to be a confused lock build or a multiplayer build. I think it makes a lot of sense to get a hero pack for the aspect cards. All right, so now moving on to Angel, who was a protection build. I don't play a ton of protection, so a lot of this is like for me. But Elixir is the protection ally for 1/1/3 stat line. You can only do it with your X Force or X-Men trait. After Elixir attacks or thwarts, heal 1 damage from another friendly character. This could be yourself. It's a nice way to get like a little bit of healing, maybe to a different ally you have that you want to keep around or whatever. It's really expensive. 4 is really, really expensive to like slowly heal up. Siren, another 4 cost ally, 2/2/3 stat line. After Siren attacks, stun a minion. I mean, there are a lot of like hard minions out there in the game, so it's not terrible. It's pretty expensive. If you're using a card or ways to heal up Siren, it could be worth it. If you're playing a minion heavy deck, it could be worth it. But again, Siren's very expensive for what you're trying to do, and you're just focused on the minion. I don't really want to stun minions all day. I want to get rid of minions. So it's not a card that I focus on a ton. Warpath, another 4 cost protection card. 2/2/4 stat line. The 2 thwart gets 2 consequential. Does come in with toughness. But after Warpath defends against an attack, play an event with a hero ability from your hand paying its cost. I'm sure there's some crazy things you can do with this in multiplayer. In solo play, I don't really see it. It's not a card I use. Again, I think he's really kind of expensive for what he is. He's not terrible, but it's just expensive for what he is. All right, aerial interventions is 0 cost event. When a character would take any mana damage from an attack, exhaust an aerial character you control and prevent up to 3 damage from that attack. If you're running an ally heavy deck, it's not bad. It's also nice because it's when a character would take damage, that includes your hero, any mana damage, you exhaust an aerial character you control. So if your hero is going to take the damage, you can exhaust an ally. They don't take consequential damage or anything, but you prevent 3 of that damage to you. Again, if you're playing solo or stage 1 of a villain, usually this is like most, if not all, their damage. So that part's kind of nice. And especially if like your allies, like you don't want to get rid of them yet, you're not ready for a full block yet, they still, whatever it may be, it's not bad for that. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bad. Ever Vigilant is a 2 cost event. Play only if you have the aerial trait. Ready your hero, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. It stinks that it's the main scheme and not just a scheme, but readying up your hero, super strong, especially if you have a strong hero. For aerial builds, this is really nice. Removing 2 threat from main scheme isn't the worst thing in the world, obviously. I think we've had Ever Vigilant before, but yeah. It's a good card if you're running an aerial type deck. Taunt is a 1 cost event. The villain attacks you. Other characters cannot defend against this attack. Draw 3 cards. I don't mind this if I have a ton of life and I'm going to defend anyway or whatever, and I have nothing really else to do, and I draw 3 cards. Drawing 3 cards when you start off with 5, I mean, that's drawing like over 50% of your hand, is pretty darn good, generally speaking. This card can be worth it. You just have to make sure everything's like set up correctly. Plus, you're probably going to ready up anyway. So as a protection player in a multiplayer game, yes, I run this a fair amount because I don't mind defending it. You can't have an ally defender or whatever. Or if you have a tough status from before from something else, that's pretty good too. So it can be pretty interesting to use that card. You just have to be kind of like cognizant of what you're doing. All right, render medical aid is 0 cost. It comes in with three threat on it per player. Each player, when this is defeated, each player heals a total of 5 damage from among characters they control. In a multiplayer game, this is absolutely bonkers. In a solo game, it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't play it a ton, but it's definitely not bad. But in a solo game, this can turn the tide of battle. It is really strong. Again, as long as with a lot of player size games, you're kind of working on focusing on it and whatnot. Angel's Ares, a 1 cost support. Protection card still. After you defend against an attack, place 1 fatigue counter here. So if you're running a defense heavy deck, it doesn't have to be an aerial deck, but if you're playing a defense deck in general, okay, so you're getting a lot of counters. There's no max. Alter ego action, remove each fatigue counter from here. Heal 1 damage from identity from each fatigue counter. Remove this way. So when you do flip down, right, instead of having to exhaust your hero or whatever else, you can heal a ton from your character. Can be worth it for sure. It's not getting rid of that card, which is nice. It's just removing the fatigue counters. Again, I don't really play it that much in solo. In a multiplayer game where the games are generally longer, absolutely can be worth it. I think it's a pretty good card to have. Containment strategies, a 1 cost upgrade for protection attached to a non-permanent side scheme. After a hero defends against an attack, remove 1 threat from that attack scheme. 2 threat if you took no damage. Yeah, if you're playing a perfect protection build and you're trying to get rid of side schemes, especially like player side schemes or something like that, it's good because now you're just working on a side scheme in general. Solo play, I won't use this a ton. For multiplayer, I think it's a bit more worth it. Cannonball is a 3 cost ally, basic 2/2/2 stat line, but 2 consequential damage on the thwart any attack. When Cannonball would take any amount of consequential damage, reduce that amount by X, where X is the amount of aerial cards in your hand. If you're running an aerial deck, you can get this down to 0, right? You can get this down to 0, which does make it worth it. So you're running an aerial deck. Yes, Cannonball should probably be a card you have. Solo or multiplayer doesn't make a difference. Really, really good card. The Power of Flight is the resource generator. Double the number of resources card generates while paying for an aerial card. 100% will run in every single aerial deck. There's really no reason not to. Basic Soaring Acrobatics is a 2-cost upgrade. Play under any player's control, maximum per player. Hero Interrupt, when an aerial character you control uses a basic power, exhaust this, and that character gets +1 to that power for this use. This could be your hero. This could be your allies. Again, running an aerial deck, this makes a lot of sense. It stinks you can only basically use it once per phase because it's getting exhausted. But perfect protection with aerial or attack or thwarting, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. Can absolutely be worth it. Very good card. All right, Bombs Away. 2-cost aggression event. Aerial tactic card. Hero action. Exhaust an aerial character you control and choose a player. Deal 3 damage to the villain each minion engaged with that player. This is a great way if you're playing a minion. You got to be playing minion heavy decks. And if they're just like kind of struggling or whatever, you can exhaust your hero, your ally, whatever it may be. And 3 damage to the villain's fine, but like being able to like really help out with a bunch of minions is where this card shines. I'm not doing this on a non-minion heavy deck. Again, in multiplayer, I think this works even better, but in true solo, it works fine too if you're getting a lot of those minions. Eyes in the Skies, the Justice card in this deck, 0-cost upgrade. Aerial prep card. Hero Interrupt, when you reveal a non-elite minion, exhaust an aerial character you control and discard this card. Cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Then reveal another encounter card. Until that last sentence, I like this. The problem is I have a bad habit of I get rid of a card and then another bad card happens. With my luck, it's always Shadow of the Past. It's the second card that comes out. If it was canceling it and that's it, that's not bad, but the fact that you have to discard this, you have to exhaust something, I don't use it a ton. I don't think it's as worth it. I very rarely use it, generally speaking. Flying Formation is a leadership card, 4-cost event, alliance, so everyone can help with this, and you get to ready up 3 aerial characters. It's fine. It's not something like I love and something I use all the time. 4 costs to ready up 3 can be really good. In solo, it's probably not worth it. But in a multiplayer game, I'm sure you can figure out a way to make it work. Or if you're going for that final push and you have your hero, or you have like your hero and 2 allies, let's say, to do like another round of attacks, it might be worth it. You're also dealing a lot of consequential damage now, so like you have to be careful how you figure it out. Is there a place for this? Maybe. In most of my decks, probably not. An X-Force Recruit. 0-cost upgrade. Play only if your identity's X-Force trait attached to a friendly character. Attached character gets a +1 hit point and gains X-Force. I don't use a lot of these cards, generally speaking, so it's not a big thing. You can attach it to yourself, even if you are X-Force. You can attach one of them to yourself, which gets you 1 hit point. Whatever. I don't really use it, to be honest. And Soaring Hearts, we already went over. All right, X-23 is one of my favorite heroes. I think you should get her regardless. She's an aggression hero. So we got Boom Boom is the aggression ally, 3-cost ally, 1/1/2 stat line. You exhaust Boom Boom and add 1 boom counter to her. Then you may discard Boom Boom to deal 1 damage to each enemy for each boom counter on her. This is what you're doing with her, right? It's a slow build, right? Bam, 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 bam. And the fact that you can deal 1 damage to each enemy for each boom counter on her, it's not restricted to just your enemies or anything like that. It's each enemy. So if, again, you're playing a multiplayer game and you want to just like almost board wipe, you can, well, enemy board wipe, not your board wipe, really strong, but it takes you like planning out for a long time with Boom Boom. You need to go get her in early. 3 costs can be expensive, but you're let's say 4 rounds deep, putting 4 counters on her. Now your teammates have like a bunch of like, low cost minions out there, whatever it may be. Amazing. She's not getting knocked out from this because again, then you may I'm sorry, she is getting knocked out from this. Sorry, my bad. So you would discard her. So again, it's early in the game. You build her out. Multiplayer game, it's even better. Solo, there's definitely times for this when you're going to deal with a lot of minions, or possibly deal with a lot of minions. So it's a card you get early and kind of build around. Or you could do her late game and just get like 1 ping and then use her as a blocker. But 3 costs is kind of expensive for that. All right, Richter is a aggression ally, 3 cost, 1, 2, 3 stat line. After Richter attacks, discard a top card of your deck, deal 1 damage to each minion engaged with you for each resource on that discarded card. It's probably going to be 1 the vast majority of the time. If it's 2, that's pretty cool. Again, if you have a lot of minions you're dealing with, that's fine. But he's all right. Like, I'll use him sometimes. Shatterstar is a aggression ally. 4 cost, 2, 2, 4. The 2 on the thwart gets 2 consequential damage. So when Shatterstar attacks a minion, engage that minion. If you are already engaged with that minion, he gets +1 attack. So in solo, this is pretty strong because now you're dealing 3 damage to a minion. A lot early game minions only have like 3 life, so you're just knocking them out, which is pretty strong. If you're taking someone else's minion, that can be nice. You're not getting that +1 attack, but at least you're like helping your teammate out. So it can be worth it. 4 cost is just kind of expensive for that, but if you have a way to heal him up, sure. All right, critical hit, 2 cost event. Play only if there's a side scheme in the victory display. After you attack an enemy, stun it is your hero response. The stunning is nice. Someone would like Cable, where you're going to be putting victory cards, or I'm sorry, side schemes in the victory display, is good. But again, you're kind of building around that. This doesn't even feel that great for X23. It feels better for Cable. So an aggression Cable, sure. Moment of Triumph, we've already had 0 cost event. After you attack and defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage to that hero for each excess damage done to that enemy. It's a nice way to heal. We've had this card for a while. It's fine. I don't use it a ton though. Not that I don't use it. I'll use it for like Wasp or something, but not like a ton. The side scheme card is Keep Them Busy, 1 cost. It's Assault, so you can use your attack instead of your thwart to get rid of it. 3 per player is the threat level on it. When defeated, the player who defeated this removes 5 threat per player from the main scheme. I don't love that it's off the main scheme. I wish it could be any scheme, especially as later on in the games, like side schemes have a lot more threat on it. Can be worth it, especially in a multiplayer game. In solo, I'm really rarely using this. Now I'm at a 1 cost upgrade. Aggression, play under any player's control, max 1 per player. While your hero's remaining hit points are less than half your starting hit points, your hero gets +1 attack and -1 thwart. This to me is like a late push card. For a Wolverine, it's not bad. For other cards, it's not bad. It's not great. There's a lot of times I like running endurance, and it kind of messes it up because if your hero has 10 hit points, right, generally speaking, and you get endurance up to 13, it's now you have to not go to like 7.5, right? You have to go down to like below 5 still. I don't like playing that close to that like few hit points, so it isn't worth it a ton for me to play this because I'm just playing a little too dangerously. Like, I like playing aggressive and dangerously, but I think it's a little too much going on, so I'm not a big fan of that. 1 cost upgrade. The Direct Approach is the aggression card attached to a non-permanent side scheme. Attached scheme gains Assault. Yeah, sure. I don't really use it. I'll probably just thwart. I don't think it's that great a thing. Specialized training, basic side scheme. 1 cost, 5 threats per player. When defeat, each player who does not control a specialized upgrade chooses 1 set aside, upgrade, and puts the player under control. This gets crazy because, yeah, here we go. You have Combat Specialist, which gives your hero +1 attack, and after your hero performs a basic attack, it draws a card. Bonkers strong. Another one, you get +1 defense. After the hero performs a basic defense, exhaust a card, draw 1 card. Bonkers. No one gets 4 hit points. After they take damage from attack, draw 1 card. Probably the quote-unquote weakest one, but still pretty good. And then finally, that's Frontline Specialist. And then finally, Surveillance Specialist, +1 threat removal. After they perform a basic thwart, exhaust to draw 1 card. In solo play, this is worth it, generally speaking. In multiplayer, it's absolutely worth it and incredibly strong to get all your teammates out there to get extra stuff. Absolutely worth it. I run this card a ton, especially in multiplayer. In true solo, can be worth it if you know you can remove that 5. But in the long run, it's probably worth it. Just drawing a card is super strong. If you were planning to like exhaust the attack anyway, or exhaust the thwart, or exhaust the defend, whatever it may be, really strong. Really, really strong. All right, Predictable Ploy is a 2 cost event justice card. Play only if there's a side scheme in the victory display. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. Again, a cable-like person, this is worth it probably. When revealed effects can really mess you up. So being able to cancel that is usually pretty strong. So I don't run it a ton, but I can see the use for it. Rally the Troops is a leadership player size scheme, 0 cost, 3 threat removal per player. When defeated, heal 2 damage from each ally. Multiplayer, yes. Solo play, I'll never really play it. I just don't. I mean, I guess if you do an ally swarm in leadership, it could be worth it. I don't really do it a ton because if I'm running ally swarm, like if I lose an ally, whatever. If I'm running make the call, it's fine. If I'm running recursion, it's fine. Like I don't need to heal everyone, so it's not that big of a thing. So I'm not a big fan of that card, but multiplayer I can see the bigger use for it. Anticipated Attack is a protection card, 2 cost event, defense. You can only play if there's a side scheme in the victor's play. When an enemy initiates attack, give your hero a tough status. Yeah, okay. It gets you basically a free block, assuming they don't have piercing. But again, a cable like hero or multiplayer where you're focusing on this stuff, it's very situational. I don't love it, but it's not terrible. We have our normal doubles. We have endurance. We know endurance by now. I love it. 1 cost upgrade, basic card to get 3 hit points. I think it's a great card. And then we have IPAC and X Bunker we already went over. Now, the last one is a weird one because it's Deadpool. For me personally, I do not like the pool aspect. I don't mind Deadpool. I think he's very basic to run, but I don't like the pool aspect. I know some people do. This is the only way to play the pool aspect. So if you were interested in the pool aspect, you should get this. This is 100% worth it. And that's all that's in this deck is pool aspect cards. So we'll go through these. I want to note that I am not a big fan of the pool aspect. So we have Dog Pool, which is a 3 cost ally, 0/1/4 stat line, but no consequential damage. He gets Retaliate 1 and Toughness 1. When defeated, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Okay, but you get an acceleration icon, which I don't love. Head Pool, 3 cost ally, 2/1/1 stat line. Again, no consequential damage. After Head Pool attacks and damages a minion, that minion attacks another enemy of your choice, but it does give boost icons to everything. If you're going against a strong minion or even an elite minion, okay, like getting them to damage another enemy could be pretty good. I don't love it, but it's probably one of the better ones. Kid Pool is a 3 cost ally, 1/2/2 stat line. Again, no consequential damage. Kid Pool's attacks gain piercing, which can be good, but you get an acceleration icon, which stinks a lot. Lady Deadpool, 4 cost, 2/2/3 stat line. Again, no consequential damage. When defeated, defeat a non-elite minion. Meh. Everything gets a boost icon. Pool Inspection is a 6 cost event, max 1 per deck. Here, action remove 5 threat for the main scheme. Ignoring the crisis icon, remove 1 additional threat, or remove 1 threat for each scheme. Remove 1 threat from each scheme for each basically bad icon in play. So 6 for 5 threat removal is absolutely terrible. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But there's a ton of bad icons. Removing 1 threat from each scheme in play for it can maybe be worth it. Pool aspect is going to put a lot in there. Deadpool is going to put a lot in there. There might be some naturally in a multiplayer game. There might be a lot more. I think it's a really expensive card. Not My Responsibility, a 0 cost event. So it's an interrupt. Used to be hero interrupt, but interrupt. When any amount of threat would be placed on a scheme, you or your ally takes that as damage instead. This is good if like there's an advance and it's gonna lose you the game and you could take the damage or the ally could take the damage instead. That's fine. Again, max 1 per deck. 1 cost event, I got this. Hero action. If any of the following icons are on 1 or more cards, if there's a crisis, well, hold on, exclamation point, which I think is crisis. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, acceleration, remove 2 threat from a scheme, extra attack, the boost icon, ready an ally control, and an extra encounter card. You draw 1 card. I think that might be crisis. I'm probably getting the words wrong for each one. Yeah, again, if there's a ton of them out there, it might be worth it, but I don't want a ton of them out there. But again, that's kind of what the pool thing is doing, so it could be worth it. 0 cost event, get Ragey. Action, ready an ally. The ally gets +1 attack until the end of the phase. Can be good, especially with the pool allies, because they're take no consequential damage anyway, so it's not terrible, but it's not great. But again, only max 1 per deck. The Bomb is a 6-cost event, deals 5 damage. Again, not a great trade-off, but you deal 1 damage to each enemy and hero for each bad icon out there. I don't want to deal damage to myself. That isn't worth it. That doesn't make sense. You would also deal damage to your fellow heroes. The 6 for 10 isn't good. Max 1 per deck. Don't like it. Cut Upper, I think, is a really good card. 3-cost event, deal 5 damage to enemy, stun that enemy. It's one of the better cards in the pool aspect. Being able to stun is really good. 0-cost event, barely a scratch. Hero Interrupt, when you would take any amount of damage from attack, prevent 1 damage for each bad icon. Again, assuming there's a bunch of bad icons, you can prevent a bunch of damage, which is okay. But again, I don't want those bad icons. And then Pool Inspection just shows again. Frenemies is his team up with Cable. So deal 1 damage to each cable 1 damage each to Cable and Deadpool, but you get to remove 3 threat from a scheme and 3 threat from a different scheme, so it's 6 threat in general. That's not bad. That's not bad. Definitely a pretty good team up card. Stick-to-itiveness, 2-cost upgrade, spend an Fist resource and exhaust this card to ready your hero is pretty strong, so it can be pretty good. Healing Factor is probably one of the better upgrades. 3-cost upgrade, max 1 per player. After the player phase begins, exhaust this to heal 2 damage. You just heal 2 damage over and over and over and over, and you can put it on your teammates. Good card. Good card. 2-cost upgrade, Get Good. Reduce the cost of this by 2 if you did not win your previous game of Marvel Champions, so it's a little meta. When a player would be defeated, set the hit point dial to 1 and change the alter ego, remove this card from the game, so it's nice to, like, not lose, I guess. So not bad. Self-Preservation is a resource card. Double number of resources card generates if your identity has sustained less than 5 hit points. Triple if you have sustained no damage. So as a triple resource, there's a few of these, right? Self-Control is the mental version, and Self-Confidence is the fist version. It helps as long as you're taking no damage, but it's really, 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 really hard in the pool aspect not to take damage. So you're probably just getting doubles for the most part. It's one of the better things to get triple resources, but it's hard to actually get it to, like, work, basically. Live Dangerously is a player's side scheme. Each identity gets +2 hand size, but you get 1 of every single bad icon. I don't really love the trade-off. I don't think it's great. 3 threat to remove this card per player. Pool Inspection and Dog Pool, we've seen all those cards, right? So that was the last one. So that wasn't the last one. I take that. No, it's not the last one. So what we have then also, I just want to make sure I got all of them. Yeah, okay. So then we have Ambush, which is a 1-cost upgrade. Attached to a side scheme, max 1 per side scheme. When attached side scheme is defeated, discard a non-elite minion. It does have a crisis icon on it, so you can't remove threat from the main scheme. The non-elite minion kind of stinks on it, so whatever. Plot Convenience, 2-cost support, exhaust this card, attach 1 aspect card from your hand face down here, max of 3, or you can add 1 attached face down card here to your hand. Any player may trigger this ability. No, like I don't love a ton of the pool cards, so it's kind of whatever to me. It's not a great card. Deadpool Core Ship. 1-cost support, exhaust this card to deal yourself 1 face down encounter card to put a pool ally into play from your hand. I don't want more face down encounter cards. You already probably are going to get a lot from pool, so it's not a great card for me. Mulligan's interesting because it's a 3-cost event. You cannot play this card if you play any other card. You discard your hand and draw a new hand. This is actually a really good mulligan. It's not bad. For the pool aspect, you'll probably run all 3 of these to make sure you get the cards that you want. 1-cost event of Get in Front of Me. Here interrupts when a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancels when and revealed effects, and the villain attacks you instead. If an ally or another hero defends this attack, draw 1 card. Having your ally defend for it is actually nice, and you basically get to draw back up, which is good. Canceling the when reveal effects can be good. Them attacking you isn't great, but it's probably actually a better version of this versus Get Behind Me. Break Time. 3 costs per player event. It's the Alliance card, so everyone can pay for it. Take a group break. It's alter ego action. Take a group break. Leave the table. Read a comic book. When you come back to the game, heal 1 damage from your identity for every minute you're away from the game. It's very meta. I guess it's a great way to heal up if you want to. Sure, why not? Panda Pool is a 4-cost ally, 034. Comes with toughness, gives you an extra bad card. I don't like extra bad cards. Very expensive card, but the 3 damage is nice. Negasonic Teenage Warhead is a 4224. No consequential damage. When a treachery is revealed, deal 2 damage to the Negasonic Teenage Warhead to cancel the when reveal effects is nice. But again, you're getting extra bad cards constantly with this. So you're probably going to get the one reveal. Bob, Agent of Hydra, is a 2/1/1/2 stat line, no consequential damage. After Bob enters play, deal 2 damage to enemy, remove 1 threat from the scheme. Not bad, actually. Pretty good, but it does have an acceleration icon on it. Ambush, we saw. Okay, so the next upgrades and supports are kind of like the big ones. So, 1-cost upgrade with War. It's an again pool card. Hero action, exhaust War. Discard the top card in counter deck for take 1 damage for each boost icon on it or star icon in the area. Discard the top card of your deck. Deal damage to the enemy equal to that card's cost. This is when it's worth it to have the expensive cards because you do a lot, but you're still taking possibly a lot of damage. It's very, very luck based on it. So it's not bad. People have built around this and done some pretty crazy damage, but it's very lucky that you have to be with it. All right, 0-cost upgrade with tic-tac-toe. Spend 1 resource of any type. Move 1 damage from a character to an empty space above, matching the resource spent. If there are 3 damage tokens in a line, deal all damage on this card to an enemy and discard this card. So you want to get like 2, 2, 1, and then whatever another one is. So you're doing 2, 4, 5, like 6 damage, and you're removing 6 damage. People have been able to work tic-tac-toe really, really well. And it's a very strong card as long as you focus in on it and like move the resources and whatnot. Rock, paper, scissors, 1-cost upgrade. Exhaust this card. Choose 1 card in your hand. Discard the top card of your deck. Using the diagram above, if the printed resource on the card beats or points to a printed card in the discard pile, add that discard card from your hand. Again, people make this work where it's a pretty interesting little mini game that you're playing. Can be worth it. People love laser swords, 3-cost upgrade. It's a restricted card, or it counts as 2 restricted cards, max 1 per deck. Your hero gets +1 attack for each bad card, up to 4. So again, now if you have like a 2 attack hero, you're now swinging for 6. Long run could be worth it a lot, especially if you have a lot of bad icons out there. Again, I don't love bad icons. I know that's like the whole point of it. So I'm just saying what I feel about it. Distraction is 0-cost upgrade attached to a non-elite minion. They cannot activate, which isn't bad, but I'm generally trying to get rid of minions, but you can no longer remove the threat from the main scheme at this point. Blackout's a good little mini game, so 0-cost upgrade. Hero action. Spend 1 resource of the above of any type, remove 1 threat from a scheme, which is nice, to an empty space above that matches the resource spent. If all spaces are filled, discard this card and confuse it. So you're basically removing 6 threat over time and confusing the villain when it's all said and done. Not bad. I think tic-tac-toe is still better, but blackout's pretty good with the amount of threat removal you can do. And then the last one is bazooka. 2-cost upgrade. It's restricted, so max 2 per deck. Hero action, or it's max 2 per deck, it's restricted, sorry. Hero action, attack, discard bazooka, deal 1 damage to enemy for each bad icon. This attack gains range. Again, if you have a lot of icons, it's not bad. The range thing isn't bad. That's basically what he's doing, or what the pool aspect is doing. There are crazy decks out there that could do a lot with this and like play things. I generally don't love the pool aspect. I wish I had more to tell you of like, this is all the crazy things you can do, but I just don't play it that much. It's not enjoyable for me. So if you're interested in kind of that meta game stuff and that extra stuff, and there is a few good cards in there, you can make it work. If there are heroes where you don't want to like, if you're just playing like a basic deck, there are some good pool cards to have. For example, the triple resources is good. Like I said, cut upper is good. The healing factor card is really good. I'm trying to think what else. And like the upgrades for like tic-tac-toe and stuff are really good. Fort, again, if you're basically just running like your hero cards and like a basic deck, this can be a way to supplement it. So that's like the other way. That's like how I kind of play pool a lot. So it's not like my favorite thing, but that is how I would do it. So anyway, those are all the hero packs from the next evolution cycle. I do think that generally speaking, there are a lot of good cards in there. Not all of them are great because I'm not a big side scheme guy, like doing the player side schemes. I don't mind them. They're not like they're not bad by any means, but I never lean into it as much as like maybe some of the multiplayer people would. There are some good ones. Obviously, if you're running cable, it makes a lot of sense and whatnot. But generally speaking, I think most of the hero packs are actually pretty good for the aspect cards. The only exception might be Deadpool, but that's more personal preference. So let me know down in the comments if you disagree with me on any and all of this, or there's other combinations that you know that are really strong and interesting that you're like, D20, you should try this. Or person watching this video, you should try this. Feel free to put that down there. I would appreciate it, and so would other people. Make sure after this video you hit the like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. All that stuff really helps out. We will do this because we still have to do this for the next cycle, which is the Age of Apocalypse, which we'll do somewhat soon, and then we'll do it for the Agents of Shield cycle soon. Civil War hasn't come out yet as I'm making this video. So again, those are just my takes. I get you might disagree with it, but that's just kind of how I feel. So really, again, appreciate you watching this. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.